As with so many aspects of Hitler's leadership style and security arrangements, he set a standard by using aeroplanes in an era when air travel was still a novelty. Hitler was the first modern politician to travel by aircraft, beginning during his election campaigning in the 1920s and 30s. The aircraft of choice was the Junkers Ju-52 3M, an early airliner run by Lufthansa and known as the Iron Annie. On the 5th of October 1939, Hitler first flew in the aircraft that was to become his primary means of aerial transport during the war, the Focke-Wulf Fw 200 Condor. His personal pilot, Hans Bauer, had convinced Hitler that the Condor was a superior aircraft than the older Ju-52, as well as being much safer. The Condor, designed as a civilian airliner for Lufthansa by Kurt Tank, entered Luftwaffe service in 1937. Named Condor after the giant Andean bird due to its huge 33-meter wingspan. Hitler was always flown by Bauer, who was later a general in the SS and not in the Luftwaffe. Behind the cockpit was an equipment compartment with the flight engineer's panel and positions for the radio operator and navigator. There were also two defensive gun positions here, an upper turret mounting a 13mm MG-131 machine gun and a nose turret with a 7.9mm MG-15. A door from here led through to Hitler's personal cabin. The cabin was armoured. The walls, floor and ceiling were 12mm thick armour plate, the windows 50mm thick bulletproof glass. The most novel feature in the cabin was Hitler's special parachute seat. In the event of an emergency, he could strap on a parachute and escape through an escape hatch in the floor of the aircraft. Behind Hitler's cabin was another passenger cabin with 6 seats. This is where guests and various members of Hitler's staff would also travel with him. The windows in both cabins were fitted with privacy curtains to prevent sun glare. The interior was polished wood resembling a rather plush railway carriage. While in the air, a steward served meals and drinks as required. The rear of the plane there was a small galley behind the rear gunner's position. No cooking was permitted on board Hitler's aircraft, and instead a specially insulated cabinet contained preheated meals, as found on modern airliners. Hot coffee and hot water for tea was available. No alcohol was served while on board. Hitler's plane would be shadowed by a second Focke-Wulf Condor, this time carrying staff such as military aides, servants, etc. Security was tight. Measures were taken to prevent the use of bombs on board the plane. The best type of bomb to be successfully smuggled aboard Hitler's plane would have been one fitted with a barometric fuse that detonated when the plane reached a certain altitude. This avoided the need for ticking parts in the bomb. To counter anyone trying something like this, before every trip, Hitler's aircraft was taken up for a 10 to 15 minute test flight, including up to cruising altitude.